Today, on exclusive interview, we are visiting the AgroAlliance NN company, located in the Perevozsky district of the Nizhny Novgorod region. We are here with Dmitry Kabanov, the head of this agricultural enterprise. Although AgroAlliance NN is not the largest farm in the region, it cultivates 150 hectares of potatoes annually, all equipped with irrigation systems. The potato storage facility has a capacity of up to 4,000 tons of potatoes for simultaneous storage. Across the region, over 16,000 hectares are dedicated to potato farming, with an average yield of around 35 tons per hectare, placing the Nizhny Novgorod region among the leaders in potato production in Russia. We invite you to watch this video with us.
Good afternoon, Victor. Finally, you have come to our enterprise. We have been waiting for you for so many years. Dmitry Kabanov, AgroAlliance NN. I am the head of AgroAlliance NN, which is engaged in potato production. We are dedicated to producing high-quality chip potatoes, specifically designed for processing purposes. We are delivering from the field, some volume from the field and some volume from storage. Right now, we are preparing to ship the Lady Claire variety from storage tomorrow, so we have a bit of a rush today, as usual. We are also engaged in the multiplication of potato varieties for processors and have fields where we multiply VR808 here, accordingly. I am ready to show you our enterprise. Welcome. Indeed, this year nature has tested us for strength. The 2024 season turned out to be incredibly more extreme and unpredictable than ever. That is, we had everything. We also had a 2-month drought, meaning 60 days when the temperature was around 30-35 degrees. We had a hurricane, a couple of hurricanes, when approximately 100 millimeters of rain fell with gusty winds. When even the sprinkler in the alley fell down, 3 spans fell. We had to repair it. We had 21 days. After those rains, when more than 200 millimeters of precipitation fell, and it was just an uncontrollable process. But we endured, we didn't break, and accordingly, I believe we finished this season with a solid 4. Right now, we are cleaning up, tidying everything a bit, and we definitely need people to rest before the start. Preparations for the new season continue, including the shipment of seed potatoes under contract, and accordingly, the preparation for going into the field. Planning, and as they say, we will dream and hope that the 2025 season will be better and more productive than the 2024 season. Regarding the results of the 2024 season, what was achieved, what was not achieved, and what we wanted to do. This year, we tried to grow chip potatoes of the R808 variety, and he indeed confirmed that this is a very good variety for growing and successfully shipping from the field. That is, we achieved a good yield, more than 50 tons per hectare. 48 tons were shipped to the factory. Quality, 2-4%. Defects, no more. And accordingly, we absolutely really enjoyed working with this variety. We learned and we set up a laboratory for frying chip potatoes, and in order to test in the field. We check the potatoes when they are ready, when they are not ready, and how ready they are for shipment or not. And we have learned this. For this, they went to the factory and conducted extensive training. We received seed potatoes of good quality. This is also one of the achievements. But unfortunately, there are shortcomings, so to speak. It was not possible to protect against phytophthora. One of our fields suffered from this. The chip potato is also Lady Claire. But right now, we are correcting our mistakes with the agronomic group. We are drawing conclusions about the techniques, meaning what we need to improve in our processes so that this situation does not happen again. Now it's time to clean up, take a break, and everyone should definitely go on vacation. Prepare for the new season, which will be more effective than the 2024 season. A clear testimony, a testimony about how important the little things are. In other words, there are no small things in agriculture. Here is a field severely burned by Phytophthora, accordingly, where we see the tractor passing, it bent the foliage, or rather the foliage was bending. The foliage was strong this year on Lady Clare, and underneath it was treated with fungicides and everything. It worked well and was preserved, not affected by Phytophthora. Here, on this field, it rained for 21 days and 270 millimeters of precipitation fell. Accordingly, where the tractor passed, we see that the green foliage was preserved everywhere. Where it was just sprayed from above, it did not reach the lower parts because our nozzles sprayed like this. But we wanted dual nozzle sprayers so that it would spray in front of itself and also spray while passing from the side. The probability would be more elevated, likely that the foliage was indeed preserved and not affected by Phytophthora. Here we see that unfortunately everything has unfortunately burned, and we received regarding profit, what we received from the yield of the field that was not affected is all normal and, as they say, beautiful here. We got 48 tons for shipment at 52 tons per hectare of the VR 808 chip variety. Despite using the same preparations, we managed to protect and thus preserve a good result of about 100,000 profit per hectare. In contrast, on the field that was damaged, we received exactly 24 tons, which is 50% of the yield, leading to a rather disappointing outcome. I'm not saying that the supply of these two types of nozzles was decisive, but it is a complex of factors. Somewhere the rain washed away, somewhere we couldn't get in on time, and somewhere the preparations should have been, for example, systemic and contact. We actually only worked with the systemic one. We really thought it would hold. What has grown, and now I need to prove to the financiers that I did everything right and that in the future this will not happen again. Right now I am sitting, writing, and working on mistakes so that next year we will make changes, including switching to dual nozzle systems and using preparations during the difficult period when there is a large amount of heavy rainfall. We will work with both systemic and contact methods and will operate every 5-7 days as weather conditions allow. Behind the tractor, this foliage was not damaged. Where the tractor passed, it bent the plants and drenched them from top to bottom. Where it stood under the rain, it covered the upper layer of leaves. While it covered the lower layer of leaves, consequently, the lower leaves were not treated, and from there, Phytophthora spread and affected the entire plant. To say that the contract system allows one to go into the field, and you need to understand that everything you have is already contracted and in essence sold. And you don't need to engage in any commercial activities. You should focus on assembling, repairing equipment, and preparation for the process of growing potatoes. And accordingly, there are many nuances. You must consider many nuances and continue to monitor. Invest well, by which I mean plant protection products and fertilizers. Apply all of this, and then ensure that your specialists do not lose concentration throughout the entire season. Whether it is drought or rain, however, the fields must always be treated, groomed, and every day, each following week should lead to a final good result, a good yield, and compliance with the quality parameters set out in the contract. Compliance with the quality parameters outlined in the contract leads to successful contract fulfillment and good financial results, which in turn contributes to the development of the farm and the conclusion of contracts for the following year. We have now brought the tractors from the field. We have finished plowing and harvesting. The John Deere 7R worked with the two-row harvester, as I call it, the feeder, both the harvester and the combine because it harvests most of the potatoes. It harvests quite carefully. Guys, the clients are arriving in the field with electronic potatoes and checking the settings of the combine harvester as we have adjusted it for careful potato harvesting. Accordingly, we make small adjustments after the electronic potato. As a rule, our settings. We have been engaged in potato cultivation for several years, and our settings are quite reliable, allowing us to harvest potatoes with a mechanical percentage of 2 to 3%. For the fourth year now, we have been consistently achieving finished products with a mechanical damage rate of no more than 3%. We also checked and thoroughly examined the quality of two tractors, John Deere and Deutz-Fahr, on our farm. Deutz-Fahr is trying very hard. But for now, first place goes to John Deere, and I think the story will remain this way for a while. What do you think about the idea of creating a domestic tractor for vegetable growers? Unfortunately, we have not tested domestic tractors. It is always necessary to try everything, especially in the conditions of the uncertainty that has arisen today. We should not refuse anything. We should not give up on Russian-bred varieties, tractors, or other equipment. Our farm has only a disc harrow from Russian machinery. It works well. It works decently, but there is no electronics, no features that would make it more comfortable to operate, like in the case of imported tractors. For now, we have what we have. There are John Deere tractors and there are Deutz-Fahr tractors. We have tested and know that next we will definitely need to choose either a Chinese tractor or a Russian tractor. But when such a task arises, we will definitely approach it with creativity. In the timely production of seed potatoes, it is important to achieve the right calibers, as I mentioned, with many small potatoes, and it is crucial to obtain good calibers and manage viruses, ensuring they do not multiply beyond a certain threshold. Accordingly, we managed to produce good potatoes this year based on the calibers, and now we have selected potatoes for viruses. We are waiting for confirmation of good quality and a good price under the contract. You can feel it was really cold there. Well, that's the potato. Lady Claire. This year, it is the chip potato of Lady Claire. This year, the harvest was, at first it was very wet, then it was dry. We had to irrigate before the harvest. We have 150 hectares under irrigation, just to remind you. And accordingly, to avoid mechanical damage, we water before harvesting, which is why the potatoes are all dirty in the ground. But consequently, the minimum mechanical damage is no more than 3% here. We have approximately 1,200 tons of potatoes, currently stored at a temperature of plus 10 degrees for successfully fulfilling the contract with processors, and they are being stored well. We will carefully ship them in 2 weeks, so there are no concerns. Lady Claire is open, and the crot is efficiently working there, supplying potatoes for inspection. The SLK is directly loading potatoes into the truck. The truck arrives, and accordingly, approximately 20 tons of potatoes are loaded into the truck, and leave for the factory. That is, representatives of the processors pick up potatoes using their own transport, with 4 trucks per day. We ship approximately 4 to 6 trucks of potatoes for processing each day. As for Viktor Kovalev's project about visiting farms, I immediately responded to this proposal. I am interested in demonstrating what we have achieved, some accomplishments and some mistakes, and more. I am also interested in how the situation is developing in other farms that I cannot reach. Due to my busy schedule, I would be interested in seeing how others live and the problems, tasks, and achievements in other farms. Thank you to Viktor Kovalev for the invitation to this project